What's up, everyone? We are back for another episode of A Bigger Bite, where we take a deeper dive into the movies and television series that you are watching today. Once again, I'm Matt, one of the hosts of this show, along with Amarú Moses, Nick Van Dinther, and our special guest, Dom, and we are here to talk to you about Marty Supreme. I'll go around the table. How's everyone doing real quick?
Doing all right. Been busy, but glad to finally talk about this. Been trying to get Mr. Rizzi over here on for a while. I think this was like 2-3 months in the planning, and we're finally here to talk about Marty and Mr. Timmy and all that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, about 2 months, I'd say, is accurate. Yeah, I saw this back in December. So, yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, I got to see this just shortly after TIFF, not too far after TIFF, and I really liked it. So I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Nick, did you see it at New York Film Festival?
No, I saw it. We got a screening that kind of aligned with the New York Film Festival screening.
Nice.
And for those who are wondering, this is another episode in our Best Picture series that we are doing. You can find all of the Best Picture nominees here in the 10 days leading to the Oscars. So some are out now, some might be behind us depending on where this comes out in the rotation, and we are going to be having a good time, I guess, talking about this film. All right, Nick, we're going to start with you. Thoughts on Marty Supreme?
I really enjoy it. I have never believed the hype of Timothée Chalamet, where he has this air of greatness to him versus I think he's just a very solid actor. And this is the first time that I kind of saw it. I saw this, not just leading man potential, but just this underlying superstar potential that he has. And that was kind of my biggest takeaway from this film. I thought a lot of the supporting performances, which I'm sure we'll get into later, were really good as well. But I mean, your takeaway from this film has to be Timmy.
Rui, your thoughts on this film?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I will say it's one. I don't know if it's because of how long it is or like it's the uncut gems of it all to me, where it's not like at the level of like stress and anxiety like at 11 and 12, but more like at an 8 or a 9, that there are parts of it I don't think about. There are a lot of movies, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Some of Sentimental Value, Secret Agent, I think about when I leave. This one, it doesn't come to mind, but when I like stop and say, wait, let me think about Marty Supreme, I remember things and I remember enjoying it. Timmy being one of them. Ever since his speech at the Golden Globes last year after winning Complete Unknown, saying I'm looking to be the greatest, that's when I was like, I actually have not watched many of your films, but I've always liked you. This is making me like you. Whether or not you're playing Marty a year before Marty comes out, or that's actually you, take that, take the rap video, take the New York Nick version of Jack Nicholson. You will forever be good in New York City, sir. Forever. Combined with the fact that you brought the dude over who said that he looks like what my dad's dick looks like or whatever, but not that I've seen my dad's dick, whatever his name is, all of that good New York Nick energy on top of just the New York energy in general. And you have the Iceman George Gerving, and you have smooth voice Ted Williams, and you have so many people that I'm like, oh shit. And all of you are doing well. It's weird. I really like this movie. I will definitely watch it again. The only part of it is because it very similar to Uncut Gems, because it's going so much. The feeling of it is what I remember and think about more than like the actual content of the film.
Dom, your thoughts on the film?
I'm going to agree with a lot of what Amarú said in terms of the kind of vibes, I guess you could say, being the main takeaway. Like when I left this movie, when I saw it, I really felt like I had been through a ride more than say like, I guess you could say a cinematic experience, which feels detrimental, I guess. But it's weird how fast the world has changed in the last 2 months since this movie opened up wide. Because let's just say that this movie having a very distinct Jewish identity, Yeah, it's tough given everything that's going on in the world right now. I'm just gonna leave that there. But as far as this movie goes, look, we all obviously knew about the Safdie split after that news of that unfortunate incident that happened while on the set of Good Time came to light. Nobody kind of really knew what the reason was until recently. I mean, it wasn't really new news. The split happened in like 2023, which is when that news article came out. You know, Benny did the Smashing Machine, which premiered at TIFF. I believe Amarú and Nick, did you guys get a chance to see it at TIFF?
Yes, sir.
Not at TIFF. At TIFF. I saw it after.
So Benny put out the Smashing Machine, and Josh puts out this movie, and immediately everybody's coming out and being like, oh, we know now who like the signature Safdie brother was. The Safdie who was like responsible for all of their signature Safdie-isms, I guess. And it also helped because Josh and his co-writer, Ronald Bronstein, also produced Ronald's wife, Mary Bronstein's If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which also feels very, very much Safdie-coded. And all of that is to go and to say that I put this movie as my number one of the year last year, over Sinners, over One Battle After Another. And while I still stand by that sentiment, it's definitely going to be interesting, the conversation that we have, given everything that has happened. I think that Timmy is absolutely going to win Best Actor. I don't necessarily know. No, this movie is not standing a chance in hell of winning Best Picture. We all know that's going to be either Sinners or One Battle. And Amarú, just wanted to shout out a quick thing. It was the SAGs that he made that speech, not the Golden Globes.
SAGs, thank you. Appreciate it. I didn't know which one it was, but somebody was going to correct me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. I still want MBJ to win that. I do, but like the momentum that Timmy has, I don't think
has slowed, and we'll get into that in a bit.
But question, has it slowed because of other actors, or has it slowed because there hasn't been many awards that have come out recently?
It is slowed between a combination of actors and the shit that's gone down with the Safdies.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to affect Timmy, but unfortunately, I think it has.
We'll get into that in a minute.
It's tough. It's really tough.
But with that being said, I have to say,
I disagree.
I think this is a technically well-made film. It is beautiful to look at. Interesting enough story. The list can go on. And I think I remember telling Amarú immediately after I finished it. This is this year's Little Women to me, where I can't think of a bad thing about that movie, but I didn't give a fuck about it. And the main reason I didn't give a fuck about it is because of the character that Marty is. I'm a big Safdie guy. I love Good Time. I love Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems was my number one film of that year. They tell stories about characters that are pieces of shit. However, there's always something redeemable about them. I found nothing redeemable about Marty in this film. Not a goddamn thing. And that pulled me out of the movie, made it drag at points, and because of that, I'm just like, yeah, it's 4.5 out of 5 from all technical aspects. I just didn't give a fuck about it. I as a critic, it's part of my job to, here's my grade on it, but don't care. Just like Oppenheimer, here's my grade on it. Didn't care because I thought he was a piece of shit.
You have completely now. I was gonna wait. And you just said Oppenheimer. Okay.
I want to tear apart that argument first because I'm about to dismantle that level by level by level. But
real quick.
Go ahead, Matt.
I wasn't done. I'm just saying, like, I didn't care for Oppenheimer because, again, the character pulled me out. Like the character of Oppenheimer and how big of a piece that pulled me out of it. I need something redeeming if I'm getting a story about a piece of shit, and I did not have that in that or this.
I'll let Dom jump in a second, but I just want to say I'm stunned that you don't think there's anything redeeming about Marty.
That's part of it, but yes. Yeah.
I have my reasons. I've heard another person that we both know have this same argument, and the way they put it together, just presenting it specifically around Marty, I understand. I actually understand. There are a lot of purely white movies about white people with white problems, specifically like people from Noah Baumbach. I don't give a fuck about that bullshit. I don't give a fuck about. Jay Kelly is the first movie from Baumbach I actually slightly cared about and kind of enjoyed. Everything before that, fucking hate Marriage Story. Fuck all of them. Here's the thing.
You're there.
You like Uncut Gems, and the clear biggest piece of shit in his movies is fucking Howard. Howard has nothing, zero good about him.
I would disagree on that.
All.
I'm going to go one step further than that. You're going to say that a pedophile, Connie Nikas, Robert Pattinson's character, Good Time, is more redeemable than Marty.
The brother,
just putting that out there.
The familial relationship there, the love he has for his brother, and so that is why.
Right.
So here's why I disagree. Dom, you probably can break it down better than me, but I'm just going to give an overall.
Right.
Yes, Marty is a piece of shit. However, I like authenticity. And I can authentically say that because Marty is a white young man who is trying to be great, gets screwed over by his uncle, and then just starts going back and forth. You're going to screw me. I'm going to screw you. You're going to screw me. I'm going to screw you. I saw his relationship with his is it Odessa, Zion, or Zion? What's the first name?
Odessa Zion's character.
Odessa's a character, and he screws her over, but she also gets pulled.
Literally.
Plays into his shit.
Yes.
I saw the relationship.
I love her character. I saw
the relationship between Marty and Tyler, the creator's character, and it's the same kind of dynamic where Howard is a grown ass fucking man, whereas Marty is a teenager who one, the first thing we see is him get screwed over, and second, he gets screwed over by his uncle. He straight up does. Everybody around him is his age, letting them pull him in and going along with it, and it's their relationships. To me,
also, that man is 23 years old. Stop it.
That is a young fucking adult. That is a young man. You are not fucking
young man. I'm saying, don't call him a teenager.
I know that the adjustments of like age have greatly varied, but if you're older than 21, you're a legal adult. Just putting that out there.
You are, but you also don't know shit.
You're an adult in the eyes of the law, regardless of how much you may or may not.
Amarú, factor in time period. Back then, that's a fucking adult.
That is true.
You still don't know shit.
Back then, that's a fucking adult.
You don't know shit.
Doesn't matter.
Until you're 30. Doesn't matter if you're an adult or not.
Doesn't matter.
Now, since you want to do that, you haven't known shit now, today. I call you out on it all the fucking time. So I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, my last thing is all of that combined with that last shot. That last shot of he is a young white person that's all about him, has the people enabling him around him, but there's slight parts of good that you see as that happens, and the very end shows me he's still probably going to be a piece of shit, but maybe there's a little bit, and that's why I understand the sentiment.
I'm sorry, but when my boy Howard takes a bullet to the face and really didn't fuck as many people over, and this motherfucker gets a happy ending,
All right.
Because the thing is, Howard should know better. Like, look, technically, is Marty a child? No. But he's basically cosplaying as an adult. He is Vincent Adultman from BoJack Horseman. He is doing what he thinks an adult does. And there are so many examples of that this kid is in over his head.
Killed. The amount of people he gets killed.
All of whom are bigger pieces of shit than him. Every single person that is in this movie that he interacts with, they are a bigger piece of shit than him. Literally, every single person that he interacts with. The Abel Ferrara character literally knifes an innocent dude because he thinks that he has his dog, because Odessa set that whole con up. Not Marty. Odessa's character did. So that's one thing. You're also going to go with the fact that they literally get attacked by a group of white dudes who you also like are very clearly like trust fund kids that they're just trying to like get some money so that he can get them. And then these guys track them down and are about to commit a hate crime. And Marty defends them by spraying oil and gas all over them. But he's the bigger piece of shit. I just want to make sure that
I said equally.
And I will also add,
great.
We don't know him and Tyler's history. We just know that they did these cons together. So that is why Marty's a piece of shit, hands down. But he's a likable piece of shit. And I didn't find anything likable about him.
And also, I'll tell you,
that's fine. But you liked Howard, which I don't understand.
Exactly, and Connie, which I'm sorry, the shit that Connie does with that little girl in the movie eradicates any sort of goodwill that he has going for him in that movie. Like
again,
crazy.
It's the ultimate sacrifice at the end for his brother. That's what ultimately gets me, because familial relationships like that are different.
Defending
Marty
a
don't
pedophile.
sex.
Craziest
Not
take that I
defending
have
a
heard so
pedophile.
far. It's what it sounds like. I'm
Defending
going
a
based off what
pedophile.
you said here. I'm going based off of
your
words here.
You are. I explained why I was able to. Yeah, because why I was like, that's some mortal. Yeah, that's fucked up shit. But at the same time, that's the story that is being presented, and he's going through all of this shit. Everything he's doing in that movie is to save his brother. And relationships like that, I mean, it's not for him, it is for his brother that entire time.
I will say ultimately. I will say ultimately. I understand why you don't like Marty. Like, I get that. For me, I have learned that to be happy in life, you must take care of yourself first. And I connect to Marty's ambition. I think
That's
that is the
from
biggest.
New York.
That is the biggest. I connect to trying to take care of yourself.
Hate New Yorkers is what I'm hearing.
I mean, he does.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
He does.
Everything is starting to kind of mesh together now.
Basically,
Cleveland,
all of that together.
From Cleveland, fuck New York.
Oh,
yeah, all of that together is ultimately why, again, I can completely understand not liking the movie if you don't connect to Marty. Like that, you need to connect to Marty. And if you don't connect to Marty, not liking the movie, I can see where it drags. I could see not being able to care about it because I have plenty of movies where I have that same. For me, it's a combination of all of that and my own personal knowledge of now as an adult, I've realized you can't take care of anybody unless you take care of yourself. Marty took it to an extreme, but it's a belief, especially a competitive sport belief that you only survive and you only succeed with that amount of ambition that allowed me to say, you know what, it's weird, but I can care about this piece of shit, dude.
I mean, my whole thing with it too is that it's a coming of age movie. Ultimately, it's literally it's one of the most chaotic, dysfunctional coming of age stories in a way that only Josh Safdie can do. But it's very much a coming of age story. Like the reason why he gets a pass, I guess you could say, in the way that I'm not willing to give Connie Nikas or Howard Ratner is the fact that ultimately, regardless of how old he is, within the context of the world and his own respective maturity, he is very much still kind of learning and figuring out his way in the world. That's what makes that ending hit so impactfully. That's why the needle drops at the beginning and the end of the movie work so well, is because it's literally, Josh Safdie has talked about this in all the interview circuits. He's literally telling a story about chasing your dreams, but instead of the whole, I guess, for lack of a better word, whimsical, instead of making it like a Steven Spielberg whimsy, he's making it like a down-to-earth, dirty, grimy New York story, essentially, and mixing it with all of this collective history, very much intertwined with New York. Like, that's the other thing too, is that the Safdie are unapologetic New Yorkers. So if you don't fuck with New York, then I'm sorry, there's just going to be certain things in this movie that aren't for you. Like the fact that they got the CEO of D'Agostino's, which is a New York grocery chain that you would only know if you lived in New York. I mean, there's one block away from my job, as Dion's dad. And like you were saying, man with the golden voice, all of this different shit that is so intrinsically unique to New York. Also, fun fact about Dion, not only did that dude get cast in the Side Talk video, but he's also an alma mater for my college. He graduated from SUNY Oswego, so just wanted to throw that out there. And so I guess that's kind of why Amarú, I hear where you're coming from in terms of understanding why people don't like Marty. I don't subscribe to that argument only because I feel like anybody who says that Marty is quote unquote a piece of shit, I think is ultimately missing the point of the movie. I really do. I have to put that out there because ultimately, if you're saying, oh, Marty's a piece of shit, you're like, what person at that age range is not a piece of shit? From the age of say 15 to I'll say about 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so you're the one exception. I have known so many people.
My brother is that
age
way.
Ranges.
My fucking brother's friends are that. They are not anything like that. My brother loved Marty Supreme, by the way.
Okay, so my point being is that it's very kind of tricky. And I don't know, maybe we just have different terms of and dictionary definitions in terms of what kind of quote unquote being a piece of shit is. But to me, he's not doing, I guess for me, he's not doing anything.
If you a deadbeat, the moment you say, yeah, I am a kid, I immediately unsubscribe to that bullshit. You're just no.
At the end of the movie.
I don't care.
End of the movie.
Just like
but
you
here,
thought the end of
wait.
wait.
Also, the fact that Odessa was
go,
manipulating
go.
him by faking the black eye with Emery Cohen. Like, are we just going to skip over that, or
everyone in this movie is a piece of shit? It was like, again, that's why. Like, not everyone in Uncut Gems is a piece of shit. Like, that's part of the reason why I'm able to survive with this so much. But everyone in this movie is a piece of shit. And Marty being the face of said film, I just can't run with it.
Okay.
To answer your question,
go.
Rue. Shit, now got knocked off train of thought. Rue, what was your question about? What was your question again?
No, I was saying the fact that one, you mentioned the
deadly
stuff.
Yeah, sorry. By the time we get to that moment, like I said, it didn't like when Howard getting the bullet to the brain. All right, you fucked up. You fucked with the wrong people. Felt deserved, but I don't. It wasn't that moment. Doesn't redeem everything else he did in the film. That's why.
Here's my question. Sorry, Mark. Here's my question. If Howard Wright had survived the movie, because this is honestly like an interesting point that I've talked about with a lot of people. If Howard had survived the movie, do you think that would have been the last bet that he would have made? No,
Never.
He would have kept betting. He would have kept betting.
He wasn't going to get the money from it anyway. Oh, no, he would have.
He literally just won the money. He sent Julia Fox to the casino.
Yes, no. I forget. I thought that she left with the old man. It's been a while since I watched it. I forgot. My apologies. That's why I stopped myself. But I think he would have left. Like, you're straight up talking about just leaving at that point.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Yeah. So two things.
I don't think you wouldn't stop betting. I didn't say that. I just said I think he would have left.
Two things before, because Nick is way too polite to cut us Americans off before going to him. Two things, and I bet Matt's going to reply after this. But my two things is, Matt, you brought up that the end doesn't redeem him, yet I don't see how that connects when you let the end of Good Time redeem that character. It doesn't connect to me.
Because the character is going through it the entire story for that one reason. So that's why. So
again, my one reason is he's looking for glory. I can accept that. My second thing I was going to say, just to go off of that, the whole everybody's a piece of shit is an exaggeration. It goes back to, I like the authenticity. I know a lot of people that age who are great people. I also know a lot of people who are pieces of shit. And I also know a lot of great people that age who are also pieces of shit. It's not unbelievable on top of that. And sorry, Nick, last thing. You said that all the people he killed and screwed over, the fact that not everybody in Uncut Gems is a piece of shit makes Howard worse, because Howard screws over people who aren't pieces of shit, including his wife.
Yeah, I know.
That's the connection I don't get.
Yeah.
Because one, Idina's a fucking queen, so just laying that down there real quick.
I had a feeling this was going in this direction,
but two, that makes me, because there are so many people who are around him who aren't pieces of shit. That's what makes Howard more interesting. Because how do you have so many people around you who aren't pieces of shit who take it? That makes the character more interesting to me.
Okay.
Because you are in an environment where nobody around you is really a piece of shit, but you clearly don't give a fuck. So why? What is going on there? That catches my interest. Where the only person who's seemingly not a piece of shit is Marty's mother, and she's just a caring mother from what I picked up on. And a little overbearing, yes. Playing into certain stereotypes, maybe. But I was like, is she really the only person in this thing who's not a piece of shit?
All right. I think I don't get this take on Marty. To me, like, you talk about the people that he gets killed and everything. Nothing that Marty does in that sense is with intention. It is, once again, going back to like a dog hearing fireworks and then just kind of running around and like getting himself out of a problem. This whole movie to me is about chasing your dreams. And the end of this movie, the message I got is that sometimes your dreams aren't what you think they are. And I don't know how you don't see that as redeeming, because he goes through all this. He grows up presumably without a father. He has an absentee mother. You can talk about whether that's her fault or his fault. I think it's probably a little bit of both of them. So family is like the furthest thing. His uncle is just there giving him a job. It's very clear that the way his uncle treats him is like an employee and not quite in the same way as like a nephew. Family is very removed from Marty's life. And the only thing that he dives into is this idea of being great, this idea of being the best. And this is where I go back to the cosplaying like an adult thing. He does everything that he thinks you need to do for greatness. Get into a relationship with someone who's in a relationship, not thinking because my only focus is greatness. Not making time for his mother, not thinking because my only focus is greatness. I'm going to be the best ping pong player of all time. I'm going to do this. And throughout the film, he gets humbled. And he starts to learn what true greatness is, because he comes up against, whether it be the other ping pong player, whether it be Kevin O'Leary's character, whether it be these real life aspects that he gets put into. And if you don't have the end of the film, I can get the idea that you think he's almost that it would be a sad film and he ends up becoming like a Harlem Globetrotter sideshow for the rest of the film. But
Would have loved that ending, actually.
You get to see literally the evolution of Marty, which is why I think the opening scene of the sperm is so apt to what the rest of the film is it is his journey to the egg. Like, it is his journey to fatherhood. And
I
that's
never thought about that. Nice.
But that's what this entire movie is really about, is someone who has no interest in being a father, someone who doesn't have a father in their life. And at the end of the film, they've learned that that's the most important thing. It's actually quite like a beautiful message in hindsight. And because it's got the rough edges, I think that's why it works so well. Also,
what
I will say, Josh Safdie is probably very proud of how chaotic this conversation has been.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
He's like, this is exactly what I envisioned from the movie.
And what I like about that is that it actually takes Matt and Nick's ideas and for me puts them together, because it's also at the end of the movie, I'm like, I can see him realizing his dream is being a father. I can also see him faking that and continuing down the path he is. But the fact that I don't know either leaves that open for interpretation and makes him a very well-rounded character to me, and a very well-rounded story where I can believe both ways. But being me, I'm going to choose to believe that he wants to be a father. But somebody seeing the other side, it makes these conversations and makes the movie even better.
And that's ultimately really kind of what makes the movie, I think, so good, is the fact that you have that open-endedness while also the film itself kind of is a representation of kind of not only how Josh, but how Timothée have both kind of evolved and matured. Where he is, the Safdie's last two movies, Good Time and Uncut Gems, had such these bleak, miserable, depressing endings where, again, Howard gets shot, kind of gets arrested, all that. You have, like, kind of, again, the characters finally suffering the consequences of their actions, rightfully so.
I don't think
and this time, you have kind of this kind of realization of, okay, I finally went, I did the thing that I said I've been going to do this whole movie. I did it. I accomplished it. Now it's time to go back to reality, essentially. And he finally, it's almost like and this is kind of where I get back into the coming of age elements, where if anything, this whole movie is a rite of passage. That's ultimately what it is. It's all about kind of him having to do this one last thing before he can, for lack of a better word, break through the final level of like adulthood, essentially. I know that it's kind of tacky me using video game terms, but I think it's the best way to describe it, which is that the whole movie, right? And Josh also talked about this in the interview circuit as well. This whole movie, you have everybody around him trying to stick him inside this box, right? Of being like, you have to do this with your life. You have to, say, yes, sir, obey all the rules, all that. So that kind of gets into the whole, rebelling against the man, if you will, the little punk rock, if you will, which, again, when presented like this, I can understand why it would turn some people off. But for anybody who's ever seen like remotely anything that's basically sticking up a big middle finger to society and the man, if you will, like, come on, this is just the next in a long line of things that have done that. But the irony being that after he's finally achieved the one thing that he is, like, again, there's a reason why, and Amarú, to go off of your point of, wow, you can choose to believe that he goes in whichever direction you want, whether he continues to stay a piece of shit or whether he actually like grows up and matures and by the end, to me, the telling side is the fact that he has tears in his eyes. I think that if he was just staring blankly at the kid and then the movie ended, I would be like, oh, no change has been accomplished here. He's just going to be miserable for the rest of his life. But it's the fact that he has tears in his eyes that
point
really, I think, shows that like, okay, he's finally he's found what he needs to be doing ultimately.
What are those?
And I double down on that point. Before it gets to you, Matt.
No. Because I'll lose my train of thought, and then it's compliment sandwich. Compliment sandwich. Hear me out.
Okay.
Are those tears of happiness, or are those tears of fuck? This is my life now.
It could be both. It could be both.
Because
it could be both.
Falling back on the argument Rue made of you don't know, like, can you trust that he's not going to be a piece of shit?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's not in the movie. It's past when the movie ends.
I know, but my point is, you talked about you reading into those tears. I'm telling you how I'm like, I read in those tears of this is what I'm stuck with now.
Right, and that's your take.
So I'm just saying. You're just saying, just like you said, you can read it this way. I'm saying I can read it that way. That's all I'm bringing up.
Yeah, I don't think the intention is that at all, Matt. I think a lot of what Marty does in the film is performative, and that is probably the one moment of genuineness that you get from him. And I think that you guys are honestly kind of saying the wrong point, is that he doesn't get what he wants, and he doesn't go to the Olympics. Like,
that's true.
Because he doesn't is why I think there's a contentment that he got not his Olympic dream, but like he got his ping pong moment where he got to beat the guy, and he knows that. And in that moment, he learns that it was kind of just about him and not about how everyone else sees him. And again, it's performative in a way. Had he gotten to the Olympics and had that as an opportunity, I think there's more likely of a route that it could go the way that you see it, Matt. But I think the fact that he doesn't get what he wants and then learns what he wants, and that is the only time that you see you don't see it with his mom, you don't see it with Odessa. That is the moment that you see truly a non-performative, that this is how people need to act, this genuine emotion and happiness, internal happiness for himself. So I don't see how the intention would have been, at least, to go the other route. But I think that it's pretty clear that, yeah, Marty is, again, your dream is not what you thought it was.
100%. And I never thought for a second that this was tears of fuck. I thought these were tears of joy, tears of catharsis. But that doesn't mean I can trust him, because actions speak louder than emotions and words and stuff. And again, that was my takeaway. I still don't know if I can trust him, but I have a little bit more hope for him. And again, after the movie, no clue. It could go either way. But at that moment, that is the culmination of everything that I believed could be redeeming about this character, and showed me that belief that I had in him while he was doing all this stuff is justified. Whether it will pay off doesn't matter. But at that moment in this film, I love the coming of age stuff in this film. That is going to justify my thoughts of why I actually care about Marty and the majority of the people in the film.
Yeah.
So other than that, outside of Marty, what were there any actors, characters that you wanted to talk about? I was on your show and we were talking about the best supporting actresses, and people were claiming that both Odessa and Gwyneth were going to pull through.
Listen, I'm still getting over the fact that Kate Hudson knocked out Amanda Seyfried. Like, I'm still like, I'm still mad at Disney for dropping the ball on that one.
But I love both Gwyneth and Odessa.
Elaborate what you mean on that.
Well, basically just their distribution strategy that they took with Testament of Anley after picking it up in TIFF, and the fact that it was basically that and then No Other Choice were both kind of clustered together and dropped on Christmas Day and did not have the chance to be seen by as many people as was necessary as the other movies, which is why No Other Choice is completely shut out. And Kate Hudson gets Best Actress over Amanda Seyfried, which, again, I haven't even seen Songs on Blue, and I already know that that's ridiculous.
No, she actually deserves it for that performance. I'm not going to even lie.
Amanda Seyfried?
I haven't seen Tessa
What?
Ranley.
Oh,
haven't seen
I
it.
have.
Manly.
I have.
That's
It has to be a
the best work ever done.
very. It has to be Kate Hudson's like best work.
It
And I haven't
arguably
seen it
is.
though. I haven't seen
Like,
it though.
I'm not a big.
do agree.
I'm not a big Kate Hudson guy, but I'd say arguably it is. It is.
For me, Kate Hudson is never topped Almost Famous ever.
Yeah. I never. So like, I loved Gwyneth's role in this. I did like Odessa a lot better. I didn't think either of them were ever getting into either of those categories though. I thought supporting was already pretty locked down with a couple of like with Woonmi coming in with a couple of ones that were ahead of them. But I really enjoyed their performances. And it's just hilarious that Kevin O'Leary is just playing Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank and using actual quotes from the fucking movie.
And then
from the
has
show
the audacity
into the movie.
to be like, oh, I'm going to like keep doing acting after this. It's like, motherfucker, no, you better not. You better not take positions from actual actors who are like starving. And also, I'm like, aren't you the dude who basically said that like, oh, we can make this so much cheaper if we just AI in all the background extras?
Yep. He can fuck off.
Yeah. But outside of that, Tyler the Creator, people don't like his cockiness. He's fucking Marty Supreme in real fucking life. That dude is cocky and all about himself.
I have so many things I want to. Oh, I'm going to ruin him for you. Thank you, Dwayne Burke, for that. And Jay Washington. You all hate him.
I think he was great in this role. I would love to see him act more. 100%. I
have a conspiracy theory that in the similar manner as how Luke Manley was cast off of the Side Talk video, that Tyler the Creator was cast off that viral video. You know which one I'm talking about, where he's going tearing into ASAP Rocky for saying that he was a terrible Mario Kart player. And then he's like, when we all play, we all squared down. Jason came in first. I came in second, and Rock came in ninth. And he's having to correct. He's like, hey. He's like, I didn't play the game in a minute. I'm convinced that that's what got him cast.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I think there's two performances that stand out to me, and like beyond the flashy, notable performances. I think Fran Drescher's great in this movie.
Yep.
I think that you take this loud, annoying, let's just say, woman, and you put her into this muted, older, kind of worn down mother role. I think she does a great job with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in terms of screen presence, as weird as this is to say, I really like Penn Jillette.
He was great.
Yeah.
He is just kind of, he doesn't say much, but just his vibe and everything about him in this film. Those are two of the performances besides Timmy that stuck with me the most. And again, that's nothing to Odessa. That's nothing to Gwyneth. That's nothing to Kevin. Although personally, as a Canadian, fuck you, Kevin.
Yeah.
But beyond that, those are the two performances that I really enjoyed out of this one.
Never in a million years did I think that a final shootout in a movie would take place between heroin addict director Abel Ferrara and Penn Jillette. But here we are in the year 2026 now after that happened. I want to just give a shout out to a couple of other people who have not been mentioned yet outside of, like, I would say the big name people. Obviously, we talked about Luke Manley, SUNY Oswego alumni, as Dion. He is a white guy named Dion in this movie, which, again, I will never, ever stop shouting out. I also want to give
back then that was commonly used.
Right, but even still, again, within the context of 2025, 2026, that's hilarious.
Like white Dante. I love it.
Exactly. What's called fun. I actually do know I actually did go to college with a guy named Dante who was white, so that is funny. I wanted to give a shout out to Emery Cohen, who I feel like a lot of people have forgotten was in this movie as Rachel's husband, right? That was the character's name. Yeah, as Rachel's husband.
I love Emery Cohen. I got introduced to him on Only Murders in the Building this past season.
I'm trying to think. I think I go back to him. What was the first thing I saw him in? Ironically, this is not the first time that he's worked with Timmy. He worked with him in Hot Summer Nights back in 2018. For anybody who's seen that movie. Also, in a way, kind of more screwed over than we thought, because he gets beat up by Timmy when he thinks that he's abusing Odessa, but then when he finds out that Odessa faked the black eye, it's like, oh, so this dude just got cucked by Timmy, and then the shit beat out of him for something that he didn't even do. So the fact he's just became went from being a stereotype to one of the most justifiable characters in the movie. That is just insane right there. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to Ratso Sloman, who portrays Murray Norkin, Marty's uncle. Yes, his real name in life is Ratso, so I thought that was just perfect. Also to Giza Rohrig, who is a Hungarian actor who was known for the 2015 film Son of Saul for portraying Bela Kletsky, who is Marty's friend who was a Holocaust survivor at the beginning of the movie, based on a true story also about how he built bombs for the Nazis and how he literally covered himself in honey in order to basically feed his fellow prisoners. I thought that was just incredible and just a really great kind of instance of like really making the audience aware of what time period this takes place in. And then Koto Kawaguchi as Koto, the deaf table tennis champion representing Japan. I thought that he said everything with no words. Also, Sandra Bernhard and a quick cameo as Judy, Marty's neighbor who lives downstairs, who just recently was cast in White Lotus season 4. Also, a blinker you'll miss at cameos from David Mamet and Fred Heckinger as the director and co-star of Gwyneth's play that she's in. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all of those guys.
Fred Heckinger?
Fred Heckinger.
Heckinger.
I see. Yes.
Again, this goes back to when I don't think about Marty Supreme a lot, but then when I think about it, I was like, yeah, I weirdly was surprised by its best casting nomination. And then going over this, I'm like, well, fucking course. I was like I was thinking Wake Up Dead Man. I was even thinking Sentimental Value. I was very happy Secret Agent. We
all know Sinners is winning it.
It should be. But like going through this, it reminds me again of, while I don't think about the film, when I do think about the film, it is stacked. It is fun. It is harrowing. It's a lot. It's a Safdie movie, but I quite enjoyed all of it. Though I am upset. I think it should have gotten love and score. That score was fucking great.
Dude, don't even get me started.
And that was the one I was like, what, really? Like, there were a lot of great scores, but you're not giving it to what's his name? Daniel
Lopatin. Yeah.
Yes, I was right. Okay.
I'm a big Daniel Lopatin guy. If you don't know his work, he did what was that? Oh, what am I saying? He's done a lot of various shit. Sorry, my phone's going off right now. I'm trying to turn it off. But no, I mean, I don't know one score I'd take out. Like, they got score pretty. It was a tough year for score. You got Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, which is a powerful fucking score. One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Like, I would have took
out either Hamnet or Begonia.
I would have taken out One Battle personally, only because for me, the thing that I go back to music-wise from One Battle is the soundtrack, not the score. And I love Johnny Greenwood, I do, but I think of the soundtrack when I think that movie, not the score.
I'd probably take out Hamnet as well.
Yeah. While it is a tough year for score, I've only walked out of the theater remembering Sinners, remembering One Battle, and remembering I wasn't walking out of theater. I was watching on my couch. But those were 3 specific movies that I was like, oh shit, this score right now is killing it. Like,
I'm not gonna lie though. I don't agree with the Best Picture nomination, but I will say that Hans Zimmer score for F1, man, that was
Picture
some good
nomination
shit.
is well deserved, and now we'll fight that tooth and nail.
It's fine. It's like it's the biggest
movie.
like I guess kind of popcorn movie
days.
of the year. So
and friendly reminder. Best pictures voted on for the nominations by producers,
right.
and there was numerous reports for months. That
I'm not against the nomination. I liked it more than Top Gun Maverick. I do. It's just because what got snubbed for it. I mean, well, there's a bunch of different things that I would have put in personally
this year,
but yeah, because what was the other thing that there was hold on,
Blue Moon, No Other Choice.
I mean, the slot was kind of open for a little bit. People would say, "Oh, I remember." No, wait. It was Just an Accident was nominated for picture, right?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
It was just an accident.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Okay, that's the one that I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Or Surratt.
Surratt, I heard, was more hit or miss though.
No. Not at all.
Still haven't seen, but it was just an accident. Man, you want to talk about just a movie that had me on the edge of my seat for the whole. That wasn't even 2 hours, and I was just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, that was great.
But I think we have nailed a conversation that is just about as chaotic as the film. When it comes to Marty Supreme, I honestly don't know. We really talked a lot about things other than acting and the chaoticness of the character, Marty. That's in a 45-minute conversation. So But yeah, with that, folks, please check out Amarú and Nick on everything they do over here on Bitesize Breakdown. Dom, where can the good people find you?
You guys can follow me with everything going on at Movie Nerd Reviews across all platforms, at Official Talkin TV Podcast across all platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Talkin TV. You can also listen to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any place where you can listen to podcasts. I'm currently doing my rewatch of all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies with Luke of the Franchise Addicts. We just put up Inherent Vice on Friday. That one's doing very well. And of course, if you're a fan of Lost, me and Luke of Luke Reviews, we're on season 4 of Lost right now. And we kind of have a mid-episode tomorrow, but next week, it's a big one, the constant for any fans of Lost out there, you know. But yeah, follow me with everything going on there.
All right, and you can find me here on A Bigger Bite, always hosting, and also on my personal YouTube channel, Watt Real Entertainment, where there are reviews, reactions, all that fun stuff. Shorter reviews, of course, the long ones go here. And yeah, with that, signing off, I'm Matt, that's Dom, that's Drew, and that is Nick, and this was another episode of A Bigger Bite. We'll see you next time.